showing Representative Madison Cawthorn from North Carolina talking about the Federal Reserve Bank.
Yeah, did you guys get the video?
No, unfortunately, we haven't, Mark. That one didn't want to play for us. So I've just taken the quote. If you can't read it on screen, I'll read it for you because I know the print's a little bit small.
No, I can read it.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No problem. Yeah, we'll roll with punches here. Madison Cawthorn is the first member of Congress born in the 1990s. He's a young one out of North Carolina. He holds the District 11 seat, just setting the table here, formerly held by Mark Meadows. Mark Meadows was also a Fed critic, but he went on to be chief of staff under Trump for about 1 year in a rather rocky part of Trump's presidency. But here it says on the screen, the Federal Reserve is poison to our nation, Representative Cawthorn said on the House floor recently. They are absolute master of our currency and in turn, master of us all. Private banks should not have this much power. The reason I bring this up is not only this is the first time that a member of Congress has openly rapped the Fed on the House floor in quite a long time. And I've been covering Congress on again, off again in person for about 12 years now. So you don't hear this much. But the other significant part about it is that Cawthorn represents a different kind of Republican that is pretty rare, but is actually the real Republican, the real conservative, the real constitutionalist. They're always backbenchers and minorities. About 8 or 10 years ago, there used to be Justin Amash from Michigan, who held Gerald Ford's old seat. Gerald Ford was the noted Michigan congressman who served on the Warren Commission investigating JFK. And Thomas Massey of Kentucky, another kind of rebel Republican, he got reelected gladly to the House. And the late Walter Jones, who I interviewed once personally, he also came from North Carolina and was a member of these rebel Republicans that don't agree with the big tent GOP party line. And then I mentioned Mark Meadows. So Madison Cawthorn is not only rightly criticizing the Fed for commandeering our economy, and he had a lot of good things to say, and I'll be looking into that more, but he represents a welcome breath of fresh air in bringing back these Republicans who are true constitutionalists and are true conservatives, you might say, and represent hopefully what will become a trend. They're willing to buck the GOP party line. They're willing to work with Democrats and independents in certain crucial areas, and that can create a tectonic shift that kind of transcends the Democrat versus Republican conventional standoff that we always hear about. And the reason that's important is because Congress really could end the Fed if more people like Cawthorn were to come along, if this catches on, if this becomes viral, and they get around the standard red state, blue state, left-wing, right-wing dichotomy, and they unify in larger blocks, they get a paradigm shift, and then they really could challenge the Fed. And for reasons that David just got done explaining, the Fed really has to go. We shouldn't have private banks managing our money supply for their own perpetual profit. So Madison Cawthorn, I think, is showing hopefully what will become a long-term trend in Congress.
Okay, thank you for that.